Hello and welcome to EduCurious, where we highlight exceptional educators and dive deep into complex issues. Today's guest is LaQuanda Burroughs, Director of Human Resources at the Lake Wales Charter School System. So welcome, LaQuanda. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm great. I'm really glad to be here.
You've been doing so much within our school system, and I thank you for everything that you do. You wear multiple hats. Tell me a little bit about your job function these days.
I am the HR director for LaQuanda Charter Schools. My role consists of day in and day out operations for 9 different buildings, 7 schools, the charter office, and transportation. It really involves benefit management, labor relations, personnel, all things HR, certification, professional development, just a magnitude of operationally HR facets.
So, what is your background, your experience that brought you to the Lake Wales Charter School System?
I have about 17 years of HR experience. I'm originally from New York. I decided to move down a little after COVID because I had to work from home, and I'm like, well, it's snowy, it's depressing. At least I can have a different scenery if I move further down south. We came from New York and we moved here, well, to Lakeland originally. When we decided to build our home, we started looking for an area. Well, at that time, I had gotten into the workforce out in Lake Wales at a manufacturing plant. And I noticed some things that I wasn't too fond of within education. You know, I had a young man who didn't know how to fill out a job application, and he told me he just had graduated. And it was concerning to me. And I had multiple folks within the community that I worked with that had similar qualities. So I said, well, let me Google, the school, and I did, and the HR director position was open. I said, well, I want to make a greater impact on this community for minorities. Here I am. I applied for the job, and I got the job.
We've got a lot of changes that are happening right now with the Lake Wales Charter School System, which are all very exciting, very positive. Tell me about your hopes and vision for the next couple months, next couple years within our system.
I have a people-centered approach. I believe in a healthier employee is more productive, is more engaging, and is a well-rounded, better employee. You've seen me roll out a lot of wellness initiatives. It actually benefits the system as well because we want to be proactive. We want people to take care of themselves on the front end and not on the back end, which can be costly to our healthcare plans. With rising increases in healthcare, that's been something that an initiative that I am rolling out. I also know that teachers are very busy. They don't really have time. As you can see, we like to bring services to teachers. We brought the dental bus, and we're going to start looking at other resources to bring to teachers so that they're not having to use their time to leave for dentist appointments and that type of thing. And they can just come and to the bus or whatever the case may be on the site and get that done. We just signed our policy where if you are going for a mammogram or a prostate cancer screen, you don't use your accruals to do that. Your sick time. We're going to waive those as long as you bring a doctor's note showing that you're doing that. So we're really making sure we're trying to have our employees take care of themselves. That's number one, because we have to center the people. I am about people. I love people. That's why I'm here. You can't be in HR without loving the people. With the transformation of the system over some time, the people need some love. I want to make sure that everybody has that mindset. All of our leaders, we have to center the people because without the people, there is no Lake Wales Charter Schools.
What are some resources that you advise the employees to use within the system?
First and foremost, your handbook. There's a lot of information in the employee handbook. Our website has a lot of information on it. The HR website has been transformed. There is a professional development link on that website with a bunch of information on how do you reapply or renew your certification, some YouTube videos, a bunch of different resources for all employees of our system to take advantage of. So our HR website, the payroll website, and your employee handbook has all the information that you're going to need when you're speaking the HR language.
I'm from the business world and came into education almost a decade ago. You are in the business world. What is that gap that you wish that teachers and administrators knew a little bit more about HR that would help with communication? Speaking of the website and resources and different things like that, what is the best way to get that bridge crossed?
Wearing so many hats can be very taxing. I wear a lot of hats, and I don't think everyone understands the amount of work and time that goes into each role that I'm fulfilling. Sometimes the first reaction is to email HR or call HR, but in most cases the information is already there. Sometimes you just have to look for it. I've organized it in the most user-friendly way so that you can find exactly what you're looking for in our website and in our handbook. I am basically doing the job of 5 people in some cases. When you have 9 different buildings, some people only see their location and not the system as a whole. I am at an advantage because I see the system as a whole. I work with 7 different principals, multiple department heads. I see a lot. And I welcome anyone to, come down if they're interested. And my door's always open to ask questions or to kind of get an idea of what it is that HR actually does. You guys are responsible for the little people. I'm responsible for the big people, and we have over 700 big people.
So, what is your vision and what are your thoughts on attracting and retaining, recruiting quality employees, quality educators in our system, building that capacity that we all strive to have?
We need to do stay surveys. Why do people stay? We're at a period right now where our demographics are insane. Our youngest employee is probably 23, and our oldest employee is about 81. We have a interesting demographics, and we have leadership that is trying to meet the needs of a variety of different generations, right? With that, you have to know why everybody is staying. Why? What keeps you? What keeps you? What keeps you? And you just have to expand on those things. My approach is that we just center the employee. We have to know what's keeping the current employees first, and if they're staying, then maybe other people will stay. But one thing that I'm learning is the folks that are leaving are the folks that are alternative certifications. They don't have a background in education. They may have an MBA or a degree in HR, and they didn't go to school for education. So they don't speak the language of education, and they may not feel included. I don't feel like we offer enough resources to those group of folks. We need to look at those groups, and we need to cater to what their needs are to keep them. Things like this would attract. The more Lake Wells Charter Schools is in the public, and we're so passionate about the things we love, that will attract employees or teachers rather. The more we're in the positive light, forecasting what we do as educators, that will attract people. Staying competitive with pay, making sure that we take care of our employees. We can attract them all day, but if we're not taking care of them, well, that's a whole different conversation. We want to make sure we improve our culture and maintain our culture, because sometimes it's not about the money. People just want to go where they're valued. We're showing as leaders that we value our teachers and our employees. Overall, our culture will continue to thrive.
And can you break down a little bit with the pay? I know we have per pupil expenditures that come from the state. There's also some stuff that comes from the federal government. Some of it is city and local based taxes. Sort of lay out so maybe a teacher who hasn't had to study the backstory understands where the money's coming from and how it is getting to them. It's not just a matter of you need a raise, here's some more money. It is a very strategic, methodical process that you have to follow.
Most of our salaries are state funded. There's anything we do outside of the state funds has to come from our general fund, meaning that our money has to pay. Our Lake Wells Charter Schools money would have to compensate that. Just because your base salary is a specific number, we also have benefits that we pay for. It's the cost of benefits and healthcare. Teacher salaries that's our largest expense, and that includes retirement. It's going up at 17% this year. So those ever rising costs impacts Lake Wells Charter Schools. With us being our own LEA, we're not really afforded some of the opportunities that a county district are afforded. We are a non-for-profit. The state has to value that. first. At some point they will, but in the meantime, we have to do what we can. We try to do what we can. Since I've been there, we've given increases every year, where I know a lot of our districts don't give increases every year. When they do give an increase, it might be a larger increase because they haven't given an increase in the last 6 years. We've given raises, at least since I've been there, annually. And I know that other districts have not. Other neighborhood districts have not. That's something that folks get kind of blindsided by. But we're doing our best. The work is happening in the classrooms. And I recognize that, at least.
Talk about one of the biggest needs that you're seeing from your side of the table, whether it be certain sectors of employees or credentialing, certification, education. What are you seeing that we need to tackle sooner than later?
Professional development and certification. Those two things are a full-time job in itself. We get some support from the county, and those folks over in their certification office are amazing. If you ever needed an immediate question, you can put a ticket in on the IIQ, and their department will get to you immediately. But we do have that support with the county, but we need someone in-house that can dedicate their job to that certification and professional development, because the needs of PD is different depending on what school you're at, depending on what level you are, depending on what grade level you are, depending on what your subject area, depending on your education. That's a huge need. If we were going to improve on any area, I would think that would be the one area that we need to look at.
So give us some go-tos, resources if I'm an educator and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to make sure I'm renewing? Because I've heard that sometimes educators are blindsided by the fact that it realized that they needed continuing education points or credits, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is about to expire. What are some steps to check to ensure that educators are on the right track and are current in their certification professional development?
Do not wait to the last minute. I recommend you check your Net Connect transcript, because I can't see your Net Connect transcripts. Only you can in Polk County Schools. That is their software. You should be checking your transcripts routinely, because there may have been a course you've taken in the past and you don't see it on your transcript. You want to stay current with those courses and make sure they actually make your transcript. You have to take your SWD. You have to take all of these students with disabilities. You have to take your courses so that you can get your points. Now, I do know the BEST portal. If you all are familiar, the BEST portal is where you will take your SWD courses. Sometimes they are a little delayed with getting your points to NetConnect. You want to make sure, if you don't see your points, you're taking the right channels to contact them to make sure your points are awarded so that you can renew. Again, do not wait to the last minute. Don't wait to the last minute when your SOE expires. Don't wait till the last minute when it's time to renew your teaching certification, because you don't want to get caught slipping. And then, you lapse or whatever the case may be, and you have to sit for a year because of it. And if someone's teaching certification expires, unfortunately, that is funded by the state. We can't pay you as a teacher if you are not certified as a teacher. So you would have to become a sub or a paraprofessional or whatever else you may qualify for. It's highly important that you make sure that you are applying and doing what you have to do on time. If you're renewing, you're going to renew on the DOE's website, and then there's an internal process that you pay the $75 or whatever to Polk County Schools for them to monitor. I can't see what they can see in there because it's their system.
So sometimes we have to reach out to the county for certifications, and sometimes to the Florida Department of Education. And I know there's a several week lag with the Florida Department of Education just because the amount that they have to handle. So
they say allow 8 weeks. To give you hindsight, allow 8 weeks, which is about 2 months. If you're applying or renewing, allow 8 weeks.
You just pushed out some of those vector trainings. Dive into that a little bit.
Those annoying vector trainings, 3 of them are mandated by the state annually: bloodborne, mandated reporter, and child abuse. They are all mandated by the state. Now, because we are a safe employer and in accordance with statute, we signed off to be a safe employer with our commercial insurance, we have a duty and an obligation to ensure that we're being safe. So The trainings that you see are compliance issued because we're audited every year. It's a risk management area. There's an audit every year conducted by our insurance company, and they come in and make sure we're doing what we say we're doing. And one way that I can demonstrate that we're doing what we say we're doing is by making sure our employees are trained.
Sometimes it's hard to see outside our world because it's all we know, but in other industries, it is common practice to have continuing education.
I've actually never been into a employer without training. It's a requirement of your job. Our insurance plan doesn't go up on a commercial side. There's other benefits to it because if those costs are increasing, well, that affects you. It might be annoying or a nuisance, but just know that it's there for a reason and a good reason, and it benefits the system. But I never want anyone to get caught in a situation and they don't know what to do because that can equally be costly for you.
I find it very helpful to know the why, so thank you for explaining that. Let's jump into some of the why behind the increased level of safety and security that we're seeing with our volunteer process. I love it. I think safety is utmost important. I have kids in the system, but give us more of the background on that aspect. Like if you're coming in to volunteer or you're trying to go to your kids' field trip, something like that.
They heighten the background approach when it pertains to anyone working with our students, from our volunteers to our contractors, even our teachers, all of us. If you're employed with in a school or anywhere around the vulnerable population, that there's going to be a heightened security. Specifically on the volunteers, there's different tiers now of volunteers. Tier 1, you're just coming in to attend a award ceremony or whatever the case may be. You're just giving your ID because everyone's going to be in a group. You're really not going to be interacting with the kids. You're just coming into school to attend that event. Second one, where you're going to go on a field trip. If you're only interacting with your student, then you only need a level 1 background check, which is Raptor, the old process that we've been using. But if you are going to be a volunteer on the second phase, which is you're going to be you're going to SeaWorld and you might take a group of kids, or you're riding the bus, or whatever the case may be. If you are going to be alone with students, you're going to need a level 2 background, which is through the clearinghouse. And some folks say, "Oh, I had a background with Little League." Little League is not the clearinghouse. Yes, it is the same background check, but the level of security that is seeing that background check is not the same. You also take a picture with the clearinghouse. I know it's a hassle, but I am happy to announce that all of our folks are in compliance. We did that. We did great. I'm all on board for changes that will make us a better system. And we want to eliminate all risk. For one, we want to be safe. We want our families and we want our students to feel safe. As many safety initiatives that we can implement, I'm on board with implementing them. Our high school just got a new metal detector screening process, which is really great, and they've rolled that out. I just think that there's a lot of great things coming for the system in the space of safety, and we just have to keep going.
Are there areas within the charter system that you see a need for volunteers? Not so much just in the classroom, but in the office or at different locations in different capacities that might be outside the box?
I know that there's student interns with teaching, social work, but I feel like maybe finance, maybe HR. I'm open to interns, having interns in my office. I think that I had to do an intern when I was working on my internship when I was working on my undergrad. So I would like to offer that to someone else who may need an internship. I think that would be great. Volunteers. We have a back to school for our teachers. We can have volunteers help out with that. So all of our employees get the opportunity to network and fellowship together. There's so many opportunities for volunteers that we don't necessarily tap into. Answering the phones during the busiest season for the transportation department. And that back to school is usually their busiest season, and they don't have enough phone operators because they're all on the bus at that point. Or they're all helping, having a bilingual. Most of our demographics, some of our community, they're Hispanic and they may speak only Haitian Creole or Spanish. Just having a bilingual person that can help our volunteer that can speak to our families would be great. There's just a lot of things that I can think of.
And would you direct an interested volunteer to the website to get in touch with somebody?
Every volunteer, they have to apply to be a volunteer. But if they are interested in a specific area, then they can call me. They can call me directly. If they call the charter office and ask for HR, I'll answer the phone, or they can email me. They can always email me. My email is public. It's on our website, and just kind of say that they're interested in the volunteering in this area, and we'll figure it out.
I want to hear a little bit about you growing up, about your family, about what you like to do when you are not running things down at HR in the corporate office.
So, as you all know, I'm from New York. I visit quite frequently. It's cold, so I try not to go as much. All of my family lives in New York. We're from Rochester. My grandmother was very passionate about education. My grandmother had the education of a third grader, but she made sure that all of her grandchildren, her children, they knew about education and the importance of education. I come from a background of education. Nope, not in a space where we're teachers, but we all have some higher ed education. My mother just defended her dissertation last week. My cousins are nurse practitioners. We come from a very strong family of education in various different diverse backgrounds. My mom was a VP of HR for a long time for Xerox. I took the route of getting into the public sector. I've been in the public for 13 years now. I started off at a juvenile detention center, hence my safety and security and policies and procedures and all of those other things, because I know what it takes to have someone feel safe. I was very safe, and we were literally behind bars. In a nutshell, that was one of the most rewarding positions that I had. I loved it. And shortly after that, I spent a brief time with the city of Rochester, where I was the city's MWBE officer, Minority and Women Business Enterprise Officer. And basically, no construction job in that city started without my approval. I had to make sure that women and minority business owners were getting their fair share of the work. That was compliance based. It was finance based, because we also took care of the draws, dispersing the money for the project. I also have a background in finance, in accounting. I have a very diverse, interesting background. In my spare time, I love to spend time with my family. I love to travel. I love to go to the beach. I love to read, go to church on Sunday, every Sunday. I love music.
You mentioned policies and procedures, which is loads of fun for you, maybe something a little bit more nuanced for educators. Talk about the importance of that, how to stay current and relevant, where to go, and how to make sure that each location is abiding correctly by that.
Educators know the importance of providing structure, right? The importance of providing structure in your classroom. Think of it as the system being provided structure. Our board approved policies are all there on our website, and they're there for you. I don't know how to apply for sick leave donations. Find a policy. It's there for you. Got step by step of what you need to do and who you need to contact. It's always there for you. Policies help more than they hinder. It's a step-by-step baseline of what we can do and what you need to do, and what we will do and what we can't do. Some people don't like being told no. I don't have a problem with telling people no, but I also provide a solution on how we can achieve and accomplish what they're asking for, if it's within our will. But our website always has the policies on them. The way you could implement the policies, I feel like it's leadership's responsibility to enforce the policies. But I do think that all employees should understand where I come from. Anytime a policy was approved and implemented, a meeting was had and we all signed off on the policies that we understood it. I would like to get somewhere in that to doing that, so that people know. We may approve a policy and people don't even know that it's there. In order to improve communications, we all have to be on board. We just have to have the right people in place to do that. And that's why I also think that PD position is very important, or a PD person, because they can spearhead that. When there's a new policy, that person can go around to the buildings and say, hey, we got this new policy. Let me help you understand it. Or let's offer a tutorial on how to navigate this policy. There's a lot of different innovative ideas that we can use to communicate these things to the employees. We may not have all the right resources, however, to do that. but we can get there. We will get there.
So the functions of the policy are funneled through the board, discussed, decided on, approved. Talk a little bit more about a high functioning board and what you foresee us going in what direction with the charter school system. So the board, our system, and how it relates to human resources.
A high functioning board is a well educated board. There are a lot of board members that they want to know. They're like, okay, how does this work? Or they'll come and meet with me. Hey, tell me about this, or tell me about this system, and why are there so many trainings, or let me know how this works. It's important for them to ask questions before making a decision. Any decision, you have to ask questions. If you don't understand it, ask. Obviously, they don't get involved in too many day-to-day operational functions. But if there's a policy that they have to approve, then you better believe that they're asking the appropriate questions before they approve it, which is great. In most cases, they'll say, oh, what is this other system doing? They'll do research. There's a couple of board members that I know, they actually do the research, and they'll look at other systems and say, do they have this policy? And how does that work for them? Things like that. Making sure they're doing research, making sure they're well informed before making a decision. That is how it translates to the HR department.
And we recently hired a legal team that has helped with building these policies and now acts as a guiding force with our board meetings and the different facets of our system. Can you expand on that team and what their function is within our system?
So the legal team that was hired is the board's attorneys. Anytime there is a factor that could impact the board or the operations of Lakewood charter schools, then we should be calling the attorneys. We, as in the board and or the superintendent, should be partnering with the attorneys to come up with a plan of action. In my role, I interact with them if there's a policy that we need, or procedures, or if there is an HR matter that rises to the span of us needing legal, then that's where I come in at to partner with them. They have a great team. They have some HR professionals on their team. They have a unicorn is what I like to call him. He's got a background in ADA, which is the American Disabilities Act. Worked at UF. He is an educator and he's an attorney. He knows his stuff, and that's who I partner with a lot on a lot of my matters and my policies and the handbook and all of those things for some feedback.
Talk about your vision for the next couple of years as far as growth goes. We are a booming location in Central Florida. We are growing by the day exponentially. How do you foresee making sure that we are equipped for the growth of the students and for the employees?
In order for us to be ready, we have to know the needs. What are the needs? And I think that starts with collaboration between the teachers and school leadership. And if that translates to us asking for what we need through the board, then we go from there. The area is forecasted to grow by 16,000 families. And so I don't know if we're quite ready for that, but I think that we can be, and we need to look at that. Those are the things that we need to look at that when it pertains to development, business development, and what can our schools tolerate at this point, because we are going to keep growing and we want to keep growing.
So, since you've worked in other locations and in other capacities, what are some of the unique attributes that stand out in your mind about the Lake Wales Charter School system that you are actually really excited about? Like, wow, we have some amazing things. Let's expand on those.
We have some amazing educators. We have some innovative educators. We have a bunch of people that have a unique skill set that I don't think the world knows about. And before the world knows about it, I like to start in house. We need to start sharing some of the things internally with one another that we know. And maybe we need a sounding board for some of these skill sets, because we can all help each other in a sense. I love the fact that our educators, they're just so innovative. I love the fact that everyone has a sense of community and belonging in the Lake Wales Charter Schools. I'm not going to say, I don't like to compare an organization to a family, but that's what I see often. And I say I don't like to compare it because the business side of it is, it's not personal, it's just business. But at the same time, we're there with each other for more than we're at home with our own families. We have to be an organization that people feel comfortable being at and they like being there. By all means necessary, we have to center the people. We have to come up with a people-centered approach and a dynamic culture that people love being a part of. We're on our way. I love being there. Sometimes my days are more stressed than others, but I love being a part of the community. I love the growth that I've seen in the last 2 years. We've done a lot of great things in the last 2 years. Our school grades have gone up. We've been through a lot, but we've also we've been resilient in all those things. The more positivity we put out about Lake Wells Charter Schools, the more we're going to continue to thrive, and we're going to keep thriving.
Well, thank you so much for the information that you have given us. It's nice to sort of pull back the curtain and see what's really going on at corporate, because the educators are so busy tending to their classrooms and doing an amazing job within our community. Are there any closing thoughts or words of wisdom or last minute things that you want to make sure that others understand about human resources and the system?
So human resources is the heart of the system. Okay. What I want people to know the most is that I'm gonna help whoever succeed. I will always strive to find a solution as to what we're doing. And if I can't, then I'll let you know that I can't. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. What you see is what you get. And I believe that has helped me in my career, because I'm not a bluffer. I don't sell whoop tickets. I tell you straight. That's something that a lot of people respect about me, because I command the room, and it's reciprocated. You dish out what you're going to get, and I'm a firm believer of respect. In the last 2 years, I've seen so much greatness. I've been there. We've transformed Lake Wells Charter Schools, and it wasn't just me. It's been the teachers, it's been the administration. We have a lot of work to do, but we're getting to where we're doing just fine. We're on a steady pace, and we're doing great as a system, and I couldn't be in a better school system.
LaQuanda Burroughs, Director of Human Resources at Lake Wells Charter Schools, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. This was great.
And whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just EduCurious, join the community as we explore various educational topics and learn from each other. We'll see you next time.